So, you found an absolutely stunning plains biome with mountains and rivers and gorgeous surroundings, and you want to build something epic on it, but you know you're just going to go small. Well, I'm going to give you a mixture of both. This tutorial will give you a small house with huge utility, storage, enchanting, farms, living areas, all inside this tiny house, kind of. Let me show you how. These are the items I think we're going to be using as we build this tiny little house. Yeah, that is a lot for a tiny little house, and the block palette may change up a little bit. I might add some stuff in, I might take some stuff away. I've got to be honest, I'm not entirely sure at the moment, but let's go and make it. Just apply what you see me doing to whatever palette you want to use. Let your imagination run wild. To start off, all you need is a 3x3 square in the perfect area. And I've got to be honest, this looks pretty perfect. Now, before we make the house, we need to do a couple of things first. And to be honest, it's going to take most of the tutorial. So if all you want to do is build the house bit itself, I suggest you jump to the timestamp in the description below and just crack on with that, because that's a standalone. 2 tutorials for the price of 1. You are welcome. So now I've managed your expectations, let's start building. On your 9x9 square, decide which is going to be the front, and in the front left, you are going to dig down 7 blocks, with that being 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then dig down a further 1 and put in a bucket of water. You are then going to dig in that direction 1, that direction 1, and that direction 1. These as well, those as well, and those as well. So above the water, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. You then need to dig out a little chamber. Now I say little, I actually mean 9x9, 4 high. And you are going to line the walls with whatever block it is you fancy. I'm using spruce planks, but you can do whatever you want. And then line the floor with another block. I'm going to use stripped oak, but again, it's entirely up to you which way you want to go with this. Then everywhere except for where you've got that hole, you are going to line this ceiling with some steps just to trim it off. Find the center of your ceiling. It should be a 5x5 square. So if you come 1, 2, 3 in and then count 2, 3 in there, you'll be able to punch out that hole, and that should be the center. And then using glowstone, sea lantern, or even an actual lantern, although dig twice if you do, place your light block in the middle. You are then going to get some slabs, and around, except again for that hole there, you're going to place slabs everywhere on the ceiling except for where you've got that light. And then where you have that light, get yourself a trapdoor. I like oak because you can actually see what's up there. You are then going to get yourself 8 beds and place 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. And the same here, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Then place some ladders so you can get yourself back up to the top again. You then want to bring 2 villagers to your hole. Now reach down and break as many of these ladders as you can possibly mine out, because the fewer there are, the easier it's going to be to get this to work. If necessary, you can dig down a few blocks like this to reach them. If you can get rid of all of them, that's perfect. And then bounce yourself back up again. And now we're going to get inside one of these boats, and we're going to row the boat across that hole as close as we can possibly get it. You can see that villager is now over that hole. Now this takes a couple of goes sometimes, so be patient. If you break the boat, he should fall down the hole into the water. He might get a little bit of a bump, but that's all good. We're going to have to do that with the second one. And what you should end up with are 2 villagers in your 8-bed pod. And now you are going to lob as many carrots as you can possibly give them, because they're going to need them. And after not very long, you're going to end up, you can see it's under his legs there, you're going to end up with a baby villager. And you're going to end up with baby villagers until you've got 8 villagers in total. So I'm going to give them some privacy and let them get on with that. This video is sponsored by Godlike Host. I've had a lot of experience with Minecraft hosting providers, and many have great features. Recently, I came across Godlike Hosting, and I really like their options. There's a Minecraft server format for almost everybody, and those that don't see a ready-made option can create their own. It's amazing. It handles mods, redstone, mobs, Everything works, no lag spikes, no weird downtime, and the console is super clean. If you're building something big or playing with friends, it just makes sense to have your own space. The prices are super competitive too. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can try before you buy with a free server, yet free, to test out, to see how it all works and check you're happy first. I don't know if anybody else does that. I've dropped the link below, so go host your Minecraft server like a god. Now let's get back to the video. In the meantime, I'm going to come to the end here. I'm going to break out that block there, and I'm going to place in a gate. I'm going to break out that block and then 2 blocks behind it and go through the gate, and that way my villagers can just get on with whatever it is they want to get on with. I'm then going to create myself a second chamber. And repeat, so you've got an absolute duplicate of the previous room without the beds, and then come to the center, dig out 2 in that direction, 2 in that direction, and 2 in that direction. We're going to go down a few blocks. So I've come down a total of 1, 2, 3, and 4, with that last one being 2 along, and the first drop being inside the room. I've then come at the top, I've come in 1, and then I've started to step down. I've stepped down twice, so as I've got 4 high right there. I can then from the bottom place an oak step there, an oak step there, an oak step there, and an oak step there, and from the top I can place a spruce step there and a spruce step there. That's going to allow me to go up and down these steps without hitting my head. You know you lot are really loud, right? I don't think they care. At the bottom of our staircase, we're going to stand on the very bottom and build ourselves out another room that is also 4 high. Again, this one is 9 by 9, kitted out just like the last one, except this time at the top of the stairs, we're going to place another step there, and then come the other side of it and place a step there. So we've got a continuous alcove going all the way around. Also, don't forget to fill in the walls under here, otherwise it will look just a little bit disjointed. And repeat that for the other 2. Except for one of your rooms, leave an opening in the corner just behind the steps like that. We're going to drop something down, so we need to dig straight up. You're going to place ladders there to allow you to climb up, and you are literally going to dig straight up. Those ladders will stop any gravel from falling on your head. That's actually quite a nice spot for it to come out at. You can see our base is already pretty big for something with a 7 by 7 footprint. Leave that ladder there for the moment. We'll do something with it in just a minute. We're going to start filling out these 3 rooms. In one of your rooms, come to the far corner away from the steps and go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then 2, 3, 4 and 5. You can also bring one in there and one in there, and I don't know, maybe one in there as well. And then we're going to start to build up some more bookshelves around like this, but leave a few gaps, because sometimes gaps look good. And I'm going to place a chiseled bookshelf there, and in your gaps put a chiseled bookshelf. It's a good way of being able to store those books once you've actually made them, and you've already created yourself a max strength enchanted station here anyway. And when you put enchanted books in, make sure you put them in fairly randomly, so they're not in the same place on every bookshelf. Something like that and that, maybe that one there, and this one can have a full row at the top and one in the middle. It just makes it more interesting. You can then place your enchanting table directly in the center of that. Just check you've got nothing blocking anything getting to it. Check you've got 15 bookshelves facing, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. That is perfect. We can then add an anvil. In fact, shove a couple in there just like that. Stick a grindstone above the anvil, and you also need to get yourself a couple of chests in as well. I also really like to put a chest in either side there for things like lapis and empty books that you've not enchanted yet. If you like, you can add yourself a little bit of extra decoration, maybe a lantern up there. You could even put pot plants in. We're also going to give ourselves some brewing opportunities, so I'm going to tick out those 3 like that. I'm going to put a step facing that way, a step facing that way, and then going to replace these with some spruce slabs just for consistency. We're going to pop in a water bucket there, a water bucket there. We're going to put a trapdoor on top of that, a trapdoor on top of that one, and then here we're going to come up one just there, and we're going to place our brewing stand on top. We can then access that water and be able to brew very easily. But to make potions, you need nether wart. So we're going to punch out a 3 by 3 hole like this, and we're going to go 3 deep. So we've created this little alcove here. We're going to punch out that back one, pop in our light source. I'm going to put a trapdoor over it just to keep things consistent, and then we can plant up our nether ore. 9 should be plenty. You can then add a trapdoor there, and place a chest on both of them, and that's good storage for your potion ingredients. And just opposite on the anvils, I'm going to place another trapdoor there and stick one more chest up the top, just a bit of extra storage. And that is our magic room done. This next room is going to be our storage room. This one couldn't be more simple. We're just going to place double chests all the way along, and we're going to do it 3 high. We're then going to place some scaffolding either side of our entrance just like that, and we're going to place some single chests. So I'm going to shift click these so they don't actually join up. Single chest there, single chest there, single chest there, and then into this walls we're going to place some barrels, and you can just go for your life on this. I'm just going to place 6 barrels in like that, and similarly on this side I'm just going to put 6 barrels in like that, and then right in the center of the room right there I think we're going to need a crafting table, and you can maybe add a little bit of decoration. I'm going to pop a scaffold there and a scaffold there. On top of that scaffold I can put a few candles. Maybe on top of this one we can put another pot plant. And just by fiddling around with it, you can actually get yourself quite a nice little storage room with loads of storage, crafting, storage in the floor, a little bit of decoration. It's great. This room where you've dug a hole all the way up to the surface, this is going to be the farmy room. And again, you can put whatever farms in here you like. I'm just going to put a few. First off, I'm going to dig out 1, 2, 3 and 4 blocks there. I'm just going to replace the back just to make it consistent, and in these ones in the front I'm going to put 4 lots of dirt, and then in front of those I'm going to put 4 more lots of dirt. That'll do for now. I'm also going to come across this side. I'm going to dig all the way along the back. I'm going to dig those out as well like that. I'm going to replace those with the planks again for the consistency. I'm then going to place a bucket of water right in the middle so that runs all the way along. I'm going to put dirt all along the side, and that will be perfect for being able to plant up. And I'm going to pop that just to hide up that water. We don't need to know that's there anymore. I'm going to put sugarcane on all of those. We are then going to take out that floor block and that floor block, place a water in there. I'm then going to replace the floor block that's in front of the steps there, which will hydrate 1, 2, 3, 4 to this row, which means if I come out here, take out that block, place water there and place that there, that hydrates all of that. So I can now dig out these center 9, replace them all with dirt, and then if I hoe those, they should all be perfectly irrigated. I'm also going to irrigate all 4 of those and place myself in pumpkin seeds there, there, there and there. I also need just to replace these back blocks because you can just see them, because farmland isn't quite a full block and we don't want anything ugly showing. So let's get rid of that and also that. Now those pumpkins can only then grow on those 4, so we'll always get our pumpkins coming out. I'm going to put wheat seeds on here, although you could grow carrots if you wanted, or even potatoes. And here we're going to create our cow farm. Yep, cow farm. We're going to take out these 3 blocks and we're going to place a double chest in like that. We're then going to get a hopper and shift click it into that chest just like that. We're then going to take out that block. We need to replace the block behind it just so as it's continuous wall, and we'll put a button there, which means we need something for the button to activate, and I'm going to place a dispenser in there, open up the dispenser and place in the water. I'm then going to get some stripped oak wood just like that, and I'm going to place that upwards against the wall. I'm going to get some oak stairs, I'm going to place them there. I'm going to get some other oak stairs, place them upside down there so I can still open my chest. This means that whenever I press this button, that is going to dispense the water into there, and when I press the button again, out comes the water, which is perfect. It's exactly what I want. We're then going to place another block right there and another block right there. We can still access the inside of this, which is brilliant. And then we kind of need to get up. We also need to destroy these ladders. So we're going to destroy as many ladders as we can at the bottom side, and we can get another few. And then when we get up to the top, we're going to destroy the others. But before we do anything, we're going to dispense the water, to make sure the water is out. And also at this stage, I also recommend you stick another block on top of both of these blocks. These are temporary, but you're going to put a block there and a block right there. That's going to stop the cows from hitting anything as they fall down. So up at the top, just break off those remaining ladders because they're just going to get in the way. And then when you go and get some animals, now you could get cows or sheep or even pigs for this. Doesn't matter. I find cows are just slightly better. So let's just tempt a couple of cows towards us using this wheat. And what we want to do is we want to try and pull our cow as close to the hole as we possibly can, and then just give it a little nudge until it falls in the hole. Got to make sure that that hitbox is absolutely perfectly over the hole, otherwise it won't fall. If you're struggling, you can press F3 and B. That will highlight the hitboxes, as you can see just on this sheet, which make it a little bit easier to line up. But our fella went straight in. Now you're going to want at least 2 cows in there. Let's get rid of that water there at the bottom. Get rid of these 2 temporary blocks. You can then reach these cows really, really easily. If you want to, you can now place a block to block off this hole because you're not going to drop anything else in, and a fence to stop them bobbing up too much. And what you can do now is set off that water. They can bob away and you can just start breeding them off. And as soon as you've got 24 in there, every brand new cow will give you a little bit of beef and a little bit of leather. Also, just because we've got some room, I'm going to kick those 3 out, pop those 3 back in, and I'm going to place a bamboo there, there, and there, just to grow a little bit up. And then just to make sure we're making the most of our space, I'm going to dig out 2 there and 2 there. So we've got that little slot. I'm then going to replace those 2 there. I'm going to get rid of those 2, and I'm going to place some dirt in there and there, and I'm going to put sweetberry there and there, and they'll grow up and give us a load of sweetberries. On this side, I'm going to dig that out there and that out there, but I'm also going to dig out these 2. I'm going to place a chest down right there. I'm actually going to dig that out and make sure that's continuous, that underneath the chest looks good. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that and that and that. And behind here, I'm going to come around. I'm going to get rid of that there and that there, and I can see the back of the chest. So I'm going to shift click a hopper into that chest, replace my wall, and in here I should have just a little alcove. At the top of that, I'm going to place a little glowberry bush, and then when I get myself some bone meal, right click on that, I get myself some glowberries, and then right click again, and off they go and get collected in the chest. Brilliant. We also need to find a spot to pop a couple of chests, and I think we've got a great spot just there for a chest. So let's place a chest on top there. That opens perfectly. We've also got some good spots over here for chests. So I'm going to place one there, one there, one there, and one there. And I've got myself either 4 individual chests or even a double chest if I want it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our farm room. Now this room here at the top of all the stairs is going to be our workstation room, sleeping room, that kind of thing. But before we go and put any of the workstations in, I do want to try and pull these guys into the room so as I can work in that room. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make sure they can't access anything down here because they might want to pathfind to maybe the barrels or something like that. And I'm going to place just workstations in here just to get them to want to move into the room. Later on when we remove those workstations, they're not going to be interested in us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now if I open the gate, they should all lock onto these workstations and all come through into this room, hopefully. Go on, through you go. You know you want to. So that's all of them quite busy and happy in there, which means I can come in here and start transforming things. First off, let's get rid of the beds. We can also put this ladder back to make it a darn sight easier getting up and down, frankly. Now the beds are gone, I'm going to place myself right in the corner, 1 honey block there. I'm going to put an oak fence there and also there. And I'm going to take out those 2 blocks and I'm going to place myself, doesn't matter what workstation right now because we're not going to keep it there. I'm going to place a workstation right there. I'm then going to come through here and I'm going to break 1 of these workstations. Doesn't matter which one, but just 1. They cease to be interested in these workstations. I then open up this gate and he should come through as soon as he sees it and lock into that workstation. Close the gate. He is now locked in. I can then nudge him onto that honey block, place another lectern there, get rid of that lectern and block that wall up. I can then see What has he got? Quick charge 3. We can then start to decide whether or not we want to change it up. If we do, we need to make sure he can't move. So what we can then do is we can place a block there, get rid of that, replace it, remove that block. He is now lure, and we can carry on doing that until we've got the one that we want. What have we got now? Lutein. Well, that's a little bit better. We're then going to repeat that process with a honey block there, fences there, take those out like that. We're going to place in, let's go, I don't know, a cartography table right there. Then I'm going to come inside, close that gate. I'm going to get rid of that one. You are now no longer interested. Let's open the gate, let him come in, he'll lock on, close the gate, in he goes. He's very interested in that. Let's push you forwards, pop in the cartography table right there, get rid of that, replace the blocks, and then he is a fully fledged cartographer. And we're going to do that for all 8 of the villages. Whatever it is you want their professions to be, just get those profession tables and you're away. So eventually you end up with a little mini trading hall with 8 trades that basically you can choose. Through here we're completely empty, and we can now get rid of these blocks that are in the way and start to build up inside this room. And you can go to town on how you would like this set up to be. So I'll pop in a bed there, maybe pop a crafting table right next to the bed. I'm going to get myself a little bit of a working area there, maybe a chest there, that would work beautifully. I can pop in maybe the smithing table in the middle of that, that would work nice. And we can pop that there, another one on that side, and maybe this one we're going to pop in the smoker. That smoker works, and I'm going to keep building this up so as I've got a great working environment and a living space. Yeah, really happy with that. So to recap, we've got our storage room, we've got our magic room, we've got all of our farms, we've got our living space, we've got a villager trading hall, and we've got a 3x3 square. It's the 3x3 square we're working on right now. And if all you wanted was the little house, this is the bit you start with. So I've changed that wall to the wood that I'm actually going to be building. I'm going to get rid of that ladder. I'm going to place a trapdoor. I'm just doing it sideways, but you can have it any direction you want, really. I'm going to get myself a bed. I'm going to place the bed right in the middle like that. I'm also going to get myself a double chest next to my bed like that, and a furnace right in the corner. And then I'm going to get 3 carpets, one there, and one there. I'm also going to come on top of my furnace, and that one right in the corner, I'm going to replace that with a stripped, which is exactly the same as we've got underneath there. I'm then going to start my walls. Now, my walls are going to be brick based, which isn't something I would normally use. It's a very different palette to my standard use. So I'm just going to strip all the way around with some bricks, except that bit in the corner just there. And then I'm going to change up the odd one with some stone brick. Doesn't matter which ones you change up, make it completely random. And then again, we're going to put in just a little bit of packed mud, because packed mud works really well with bricks. You might not think it does, but it does. We're then going to get some more bricks. We're going to come all the way around again, except here we're going to leave a gap, coming around. Here we're going to leave a gap, coming around, and here we're going to leave a gap. And again, we're just going to change up a few of these blocks into something a little bit more interesting for the palette, and then we're going to pop in some mud there and there. In fact, what I might do is I might get rid of that one as well, because, you know, I'm just crazy like that. We're then going to find ourselves a door, a spruce door, and we're going to come inside our house, and we're going to place it right there so it opens up beautifully. And then I'm going to get myself some spruce stairs. I'm going to place spruce stairs upside down next to every one of these gaps. I'm then going to guide myself with some spruce logs. And in each corner, we're coming up 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to do it again in this corner. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again in this corner. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally this corner as well. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we can come down off of there, and we're going to build some feet just on the outside edges using these stone brick stairs, because they're really good contrast against that spruce wood. We are going to need to build up this landscape a little bit there, because that's a little bit crushed in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up one more level. Either side of each of our windows, we're going to place a trap door. These are going to act as shutters. It just gives for a little bit of extra detail on the outside, which is super important when you're building a house. We're going to have another one on this side as well, there and there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves some oak stairs, and we're going to place the oak stairs upside down all the way around the top here, upside down, and then we're going to do that on all 4 sides. So far it looks like this, and yet I've put in some more dirt because it was causing me to fall off as I was walking around the house. We're then going to start our roof shape. We're going to start off by placing a temporary block there and a block right there, and then we're going to come upwards that side, and then here, same again, temporary block there, actual block there. We're using stairs for this, and we're going to stair up with a standard 12-12 gable going up with these deep slate brick steps. So it looks like that, and then repeat the same process on the back, temporary, then upside down on this side, temporary, then upside down, and then up on the roof, just tower up onto the roof. We're going to come up there, upside down, come up there, upside down, and then in the middle you have got an upside down step like that, a right way round step facing backwards, and then another step facing out to give yourself just a little bit more shape. We're then going to place a stone button on each of these legs, again just to break up that brown colour and make it look a little bit more detailed. These are acting like pins that are holding the house together, and then we can finish off the rest of the roof. Now I'm going to use bamboo stairs because they kind of offset the oak colour and they're really contrasting with the gable colour, so we're going to bring these all the way across. However, I am going to just intermingle a few of these with a different bamboo. I'll show you in a sec. The difference with the bamboo mosaic stairs is very, very subtle, but it works beautifully just to give a little bit more grain to the roof. And I've put it in blocks rather than randomly across the roof, which gives more of a weathered effect. I've left a 1x1 hole, and I'm going to just bring up that just on one side. In fact, I'm going to bring it up one more jot. We've also got a hole down the center. Now this is great because we can fill this up with a slab all the way across. You can use a block if you wish, and then 1 2 1 2, which is going to have a little bit of extra shape. On top of this, we're going to place a campfire. We're going to put a trapdoor there, careful you don't fall off the roof, there, perfect. And then on top of that campfire, I'm going to place a wall. I'm just going to place it, it's going to be above the fire, which is exactly what we're looking for. I'm then going to flap these up, and that's going to give the appearance of a chimney pot, but we're still going to get that smoke rising. So far we're looking like that. We're then going to get some stripped oak, and we're going to place the stripped oak across the top of those stairs, and then also across the top there as well. And then we're going to punch out that hole. We're going to do the same on the other side. So again, we have got 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and then up 1 2 and 3. Punch out that center like that. But now this looks a little bit flat, so we need to bring that out, and we're going to do that with, again, the same deep slate brick in front of our stairs like that, and that gives that depth of shape that we're looking for. We can place trapdoors either side of that window, pop ourselves a little lantern on the front, and then just behind it a fence, because we're not going to use glass in this. This is way too rustic. This is definitely meant to be fenced. We're going to place another one right there, but I'm also going to place a big pot there, a little pot on top, put an orchid in the front of that just to give a splash of colour. On the side here, we're going to place a pot with an orchid. On here, we're going to place a lantern, and on this side, we're also going to place a lantern, and then we're going to put the fences in each of these windows as well. We're almost done. We're just going to put a little bit of green around this outside because it just needs a bit of growth. And once we've put these leaves on, I'm also going to put some spruce leaves on in here as well. We're going to just do a little bit of landscaping on the outside. Starting with the path coming from the front, let's wind that down. I think what we can do is we can cut out those 3 there, and then we can carry on our path, expand it out just a little bit in this direction. We can then place some slabs just by that path there. Let's widen that out, and that gives a nice gentle step to come up to. We can then grab ourselves 1 2 3 fence there, 1 2 3 fence there, pop a lantern on top there, a lantern on top there, and we can even bring some more fencing in there, and perhaps there as well with a lantern on top and a lantern on top. This path can then carry on in this direction, and we can start to put a little bit more bush in using these leaves around the outside as well, just to give a feeling of lived-inness. Once we've got some leaves in, we can bring a path around the side as well, so the path can go in more than one direction, weaving in between the leaves. And right here, we can set ourselves 1, 2, 3 fences again, and light that up, which offsets the fact that we've not got a lamp there. And that, my friends, is a tiny house with a massive interior. But actually, if all you built was the house, that'd be pretty nice as well. So home you come after a hard day's mining. Everybody around thinks you live in a tiny little house, although they do wonder where all those villager noises are coming from. And you realistically could live in this tiny little house. It's quite nice. You could add some extra storage at the top if you wish to. That'd be brilliant. You've got your furnace, you've got your chest, you've got a bed, everything you could possibly need. But wait, there's a trap door here. What on earth is that for? Let's go down and see what's going on. Oh my goodness, we have got the villager trading hall, we have got this massive working area, we have got a storage centre, we have got ourselves across the other side a complete magic room with full enchanting table, and on here we have got a load of farms including wheat, cow, pumpkin, sweet berries, glowberries, sugarcane. I forgot I'd done all this. And oh my goodness, we've also got some bamboo as well. I might have overdone it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.